Hey everyone, I'm so excited to introduce you to someone really special. I have here with me Kristina, and Kristina is from Los Angeles, but she's our international ambassador, brand new ambassador here at the World Yoga Federation. Hey, welcome Kristina.
Thank you, Karsh. Hey, everybody. Nice to meet you all.
So, those of you who don't know Kristina, she manages the Yoga Nest at Venice Beach in Los Angeles. We are right now at the beautiful Santa Monica beach. Oh wow, the lighting is just
Yeah, look at that
magnificent.
sky. Wow.
So,
The Santa Monica Pier right behind us, the famous Ferris wheel.
Kristina, you've grown up here, haven't you?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
this is your backyard.
This is where I used to hang out as a kid.
Okay. So Kristina is a real life superwoman. Okay. So guys, she has been through a lot that would destroy any person, but Kristina has come out not only stronger but victorious. And I'm so inspired to and privileged here today to speak with her and for you to be part of our network.
Oh, thank you. I'm honored to be part of World Yoga Federation. I'm honored to be part of this exciting new opportunity.
So Christina, a while ago you had an injury. You've been an athlete, and the doctor said that 3 months they weren't sure if you could even walk.
Yeah.
But you're doing some amazing yoga postures that most people struggle with. So how did you manage that?
Well, I had a lot of injuries. I was an athlete my whole life, and then running ended up being my athletics of choice. I did a lot of marathons, a lot of running, and this constant pounding of the spine into this pavement we have here took its toll on my body, and I ruptured 3 discs, L3 through S1, and crushed some vertebrae and dislocated this hip and tore the labrum in this hip. And I had a lot of issues, and the L5 root nerve was crushed in one leg, so I ended up not walking, between a wheelchair and a walker for a year or 2, and 3 surgeries. The 3rd surgery was a spinal fusion. So if you've taken my class, you'll hear me say I have titanium rods and 10 titanium screws in my spine. So there's no wheel for me anymore, but I do with some other places. So, but after that, I used yoga. It was a little while, quite a while, a year at least, of no movement, nothing. And I was dying to do yoga again. And I just thought, if I could just go to yoga, if I could just go into a studio, my heart would be full again. And I was very guilty of, oh, that's a cool pose. I want a cool picture on Instagram. I'll just do the pose and figure it out later. And so after surgery, I had to relearn how to bend at the hip and keep my spine healthy. I had to learn the pelvic tilt, how to stretch properly and really focus on alignment and posture. So now that's a passion of mine, is alignment and properly getting into asana. And I absolutely love what I've learned that way.
Wow. So how has yoga, what role has yoga played in this journey?
Goodness. I think I've talked to you over some long conversations. Yoga is so complex in itself, and that healing was so complex. So first of all, there was the physical, easing into it, obviously learning how to stretch correctly and bend properly. I think I was very guilty of just, oh, that's a cool pose, I want to do that, and take a cool Instagram picture with a pose. But I had to relearn how to forward fold. I had to relearn how to bend my back using my hip joints, correct pelvic tilts. So I relearned everything after that surgery, the last major surgery. And my hips as well, learning how the hips move in the sockets and having control over that and the knowledge of it. But as I was doing this physical healing, I've talked to you about my mental and inner healing. And there was a doctor who said in one of these many surgeries and doctor's visits, you cannot value yourself on your physical ability. And that to me was like, oh, what? I don't understand that. That does not have meaning for me. But somewhere in the yoga and the physical healing, yoga was healing me inside and peeling back the layers of my self-worth, my inner being, and finding healing internally in yoga to come such a deeper meaning to me through all of that.
And, those of you who don't know, Kristina is also a single mom. In addition to teaching yoga 5 to 7 days a week
Yeah.
and managing the Yoga Nest studio, she is a single mom of a son with autism.
My biggest, proudest achievement.
And so tell us about how the connection of yoga and the son.
That was actually funny because in all my athletics and actually martial arts was in one of them. I was doing yoga and didn't realize it from warming up and stretching. So yoga was in me without me knowing. But when my son was a baby, I'm getting diagnoses and visiting doctors, and it was one of his doctors who said, you have to go to yoga, you have to breathe. And I thought, oh, that's just really stupid. I'm stressed, I don't have time. But at some point I went to yoga and learned to breathe, inhale, exhale. They're telling you when to inhale, when to exhale. I didn't realize I was holding my breath and stressed. I think parents know that feeling sometimes. And so I slowly started to feel good after yoga, and I found myself wanting to go to the next class or what was the new style of yoga I could try. And again, yoga did its magic right inside and became such a critical tool for me to have patience, have calm, have peace of mind, breathe through stress. Gosh, all the things we know that yoga does.
And so that was when you shifted your perspective on yoga from just being an exercise, because
Yeah.
I've been in California for a short while now, but I noticed that most people, when they say yoga, they're thinking of exercise.
Yeah, yeah. And I think I jokingly, teasingly talked to you about that as well, because I thought yogis wore beads and chanted. And I was like, well, maybe for somebody else. And then I thought I was a runner. I wanted that adrenaline and excitement and speed. And I thought, well, I can go to yoga to be a better runner. I can stretch. Or then I went to yoga to breathe. But I found that inner part, that inner side, it snuck into me, and then it touched me. So I've changed. My practice has evolved over the many years now. I find my adrenaline in yoga sometimes in power vinyasa, but I also love hatha, I love ashtanga, so all the different layers that yoga can give you.
Beautiful. And I know that from our previous Instagram video, I've seen behind you have a meditation space in your home. So tell us more about your meditation practice.
I can't remember when I started meditating. It was many years ago, maybe decades ago, but it wasn't, consistent. I think we're guilty of that. If I have time, or if I don't have that meeting today, or if my son is busy, or, there's always an if. But a few years ago, I started to make it an appointment, and nobody could take that appointment from me, and it was going to be like brushing my teeth. That was my time. And it was life-changing, I have to say. I started with various apps or guided meditations and books on tape to listen to. And then I think, like you've also suggested, I thought, well, I don't want to get attached to that book on tape or that guided meditation. I want to try it without, or I want to try my own music or AirPods or just something to block out the noise. And now I can really do it without any blocking out. I can do it anywhere. And I just absolutely love it. And I say my own. And the minute I hear my own, it's like I drop right in. And I find it sets me up for my day. I choose to do it in the morning, and I have an hour.
Oh.
And I know somehow now, even after all this time, when my hour is up, I don't set a timer. So Somehow my body knows, somehow my mind knows, and I just absolutely love that piece. And I talked to you about the deep blissful feeling I love after, and yeah, it's key to my practice, my overall well-being.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And so what made you decide to join the World Yoga Federation and come on board with us as an ambassador?
I love that the World Yoga Federation stays authentic to yoga. You stay authentic to the practice, the philosophy, the deeper meaning. Like you said, it's not just exercise, it's not just putting on a cool yoga outfit and doing a fancy pose. There's so many layers that have intrigued me and grown with me and made me evolve that I want to keep evolving with. And the constant learning is one of the things that excites me about yoga. There's a never-ending wealth of knowledge. And then when I met you and talked to you, it was more never-ending knowledge. And you introduced me to time meditation. And that, talk about life-changing. I have never meditated so deeply as I have after time meditation. And getting to know your story and learning about Swami Vivekananda, I am just so excited to be part of the World Yoga Federation.
We are so excited to have you as an ambassador, as our international ambassador, and I think we're going to do great things together. We have just, guys, for those of you who are just tuning in, we've launched in the United States officially, and we are now in Los Angeles. And if you are a yoga studio or a yoga teacher, you want to be part of a network that truly respects you for who you are and is willing to value your authenticity, your culture, and your background. We are here for you. If you want to be part of a network, you have some ideas, where you want to take this somewhere, you want to bring it to your community, you want to connect with us, connect with India. Our goal is to have certification from India internationally, and we've been doing that for a while. And our newest ambassador.
You know what I have to add? I have to add that you have been super receptive also that maybe I have a practice that's not what you would see. You said you don't particularly choose to do vinyasa. And I have a power vinyasa, which is a very fast paced, we have music, but you've appreciated that I have that, and that I also bring philosophy to that, and I bring my knowledge of yoga to power. So thank you for that, for allowing me to be me and bring my yoga to World Yoga Federation.
Of course, we are all different flowers that make up the garden, right?
That's beautiful. Yeah, I like that one. I'll use that one.